hell I'm gonna do.
Right.
I hadn't thought about the fact that I thought I had something like coming up, and when I looked at my calendar, I was like, shit.
Because I know you were on my wait list for June.
Yeah, I
I
threw
think.
myself somewhere like in there, and I figured like, oh, if she has something come up, she'll know.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I looked and I was like, oh yeah, I never actually confirmed anything. So I'll raise my hand, and then I was like, oh, well, I might be screwing somebody who needs like.
Nope, you didn't screw anyone. Everyone that wanted to get in was like wanting to kick themselves because they're like, no, the one time you get something soon.
And I was like, I shouldn't. And then, you know, it's fine.
Well, we'll have fun. We're gonna make you like really pretty. Have fun with it. Maddie might swing by and bring some mall Chinese food. I crave it's the Cajun like Chinese food that they have there. And I have like the obsession with it. So he's like, well, if I fill up to it, I'll ride the motorcycle down. I'll take your car, exchange it out, go get some food for us. Because he saw your name. He's like, okay.
That's funny. Ty just got me a new helmet, and I have yet to get it out. It just came last week. We were driving to get Bree from Indiana. So he finally got the Carta installed on it. Tuesday, he was like, it's bike night tonight, like 5:30 as I'm sitting at the computer, and I was like, when? And it's right down the road, like 5-minute ride, right? Yep. He's like 5 to 7, and I was like, ugh. He goes, it's actually pretty windy, like.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think it'd actually be a fun ride. I was like, if you're saying that, it's good.
Yeah, yep. You're like, if you know that and you're saying that, I'm not gonna go out.
Because Highway 7 is just a master of potholes anyway, so I hate riding it after sundown.
Yep.
Because some of them are like long, like it's just enough to jar you.
Yep.
You know, it probably won't knock you out.
But if you're not paying
wrong,
attention,
yeah. And so I was like, if you're saying that, then yeah.
We'll just let it be.
Exactly. And everything's out in the building right now, in the bikes, because Bree's home with the, so we put her truck back up in the garage. I'm lazy and I won't go get my bike out of the barn. I make him ride it across the dirt and bring it to the driveway. It's bad enough I have to do a long gravel driveway. Like,
oh, yeah, right.
You can go get it, because we haven't like built the drive, like we have in front of the building, but haven't built like the half circle drive in front of the building yet, because I need about 75 tons of road base.
Oh my gosh.
Luckily, like, one of the guys Ty worked with at Comcast, his wife and I go to breakfast or lunch about once a month, and her aunt owns a trucking company.
Okay.
So they're going to get me the road base at like their cost.
Oh, nice.
I need to call her and order it, and then, you know, that's a lot of time on the tractor. Building out that road.
Yep.
So
it's got to be like planned out with that much.
Exactly. Well, and what we're hoping is like the one stretch is basically just down the property line, fence line. So semi, as long as it's dry enough, the semi should be able to just back up, start tipping, and then just drive
Go
forward
right in. Yep.
as much as he can to just kind of not leave us a huge pile. And then from there, start using the tractor bucket to start pulling it out more. But it's still a lot of fun getting your ass off on the tractor. So I'm always like, you have to go get the bike, sorry.
That's your job right now.
So one time I pitched myself off the bike on his mom's gravel driveway, and it was like the big river rock.
Oh my gosh.
And I grabbed just a little bit too much front brake, about 10 feet before the concrete.
Yep.
And it was on my 02 Suzuki, and just literally whoop, right off the bike.
Oh.
Like, it's the only time I've gone down, and it was just enough to like, just kind of pitch enough and just
do it
right
perfectly
over,
right there.
And off I went. And And it was a whole dirt road to like get back out to the main area, because it's when they lived in Severance, and then it was in my head, and so his mom was really nice, and like he rode my bike out to the pavement, and then she drove me out and drove him back to get his bike, because she was still learning at the time, and she's like, I get it. This is the worst part about, she had like a little 250 or something. And she didn't ride for very long, but she's like, I get it. I hate it. Like, I get it, and I can't imagine doing it on those.
Nope.
And it was just enough to just kind of me. So it was a long time before, and even now I'm like, I'm not changing gears. I'm not doing shit. I'm picking
you're
the
like
speed once I hit our driveway.
Nice and easy. Don't stop. Just go.
Exactly.
Yep.
And if I gotta stop for oncoming traffic, like, luckily I haven't had to yet, but it's just in your head now of like,
the nerves of it.
Yeah.
But I would say, because you know, they always say it's not if you go down, it's when you go down. And if that's when you went down and that's your go down for being on a bike, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was me too, and I was like, okay, that's out of the way.
Done.
And then the only other time was in Estes Park. We were pulling a tight U-turn, and it was, you know, tip, 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 pushed, and foot slid on a rock, and it was just like, walk it down like something most people do, like in their driveway, you know, things like that. And I was with a bunch of Thai's coworkers. We went on a group ride because our German coworker was in country.
Okay.
And Christian rented a KTM and used the hell out of that thing. True Euro style on a peak to peak ride. And Luke was a racer for a while. And he's like, I got out of the way. I was like, can you pick it up? And Ty was so mad because he wasn't there for it. And Luke's like, she managed it just fine. Like, she didn't try and fully stop the bike. You know, you could tell she was holding on and kind of controlled it, but kept herself out of the way. Like, seriously happens to the best of us. There's just one little scratch on the drink case, you know.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, Ty was so pissed, and Luke's like, seriously, like, this is the shit that happened. She managed it fine. And
the best way you could have.
I'm just gonna ride home. I don't want to ride with anybody anymore.
You're like, let me be. How long ago was it?
Oh god, that was years ago.
Okay.
I hadn't had the white Suzuki very long, so how old's that thing? 2009. So that was probably like in 12 or 13.
Okay.
I think the bike was maybe just a couple years old.
Gotcha.
Which that sounds freaking ridiculous now. The bike's 15 years old.
I know, with Maddie's Gixxer, I look at it in the garage, I'm like, that thing's like ancient now.
Yeah, no kidding. I know JJ said something on Facebook one day, you guys still have the same bikes? And it's like,
they're running. They're good,
like,
right?
I don't even think I have 14,000 miles on it.
Nope.
And the R1's kind of the same. Once we had 2 new engines put in it, but we can still sell this for what we bought it
I know,
for.
it's insane.
I'm like, that's crazy. But it's like, yeah, why? Like, we like them.
They're in good condition, keeps insurance lower.
Oh god, yeah, it's $400 a year to fully insure both bikes.
Wow.
Both riders.
That's amazing.
I know. It's like, so there's times where we're like, we should just.
That's the win right there we'll take.
Exactly. And I'm like, it costs like $20 a month to sit there.
Yep.
You know, but we just, and I don't go to the office anymore. You know, weekends are full with kids.
Yeah.
So.
Like at the right time you used to.
No. Now, Maddie had to go off 2 years ago.
Yeah. And now he's just gotten the motorcycle back up and going, and because he's been putting it together himself.
Gotcha.
So he's been bringing in the parts. He waited for like the sales that happened and getting all the parts for that.
Yeah.
And then he took it out, and the brakes just weren't working. Then he ordered a new brake for it, and then he was like thinking he was crazy. He was pulling the brake and he was showing me the parts, and they sent him like a right pad for a left side. It was this weird switch around. So then he had to work with them, but he's got it up, and he really hasn't taken it out on the highway. So if he comes here today, he wants to take the toll. It'll be his first time out on it. So, and it's not like it was bad that he couldn't control what happened, because it was him going into a roundabout, and then they had just freshly painted that white reflective paint that's like glass.
Yep.
And his tires hit it and took him down sideways.
We did one of the first CSC rides, like without Tyler. Ray and I met Sasha and a bunch of people, and we rode to somewhere in Lodo. Probably, off Wine Creek or whatever, to that pizza place.
Yep.
And they were paving, they were paving I-25. It wasn't even asphalt. No, let me think about that. It was asphalt, not concrete. It was fresh. They just painted a huge section, and I forget where there was a bunch of white reflective striping.
Oh, yeah.
And so you went to change lanes the way they had it freshly striped, and you could just feel it.
Yep, that little like slippery.
Yep, and I still had the stock Bridgestones on it. But Ty's like, you should love these things. I was like, they never feel warm. They never feel warm. I never feel like I'm going to be able to like stop on these suckers.
Yeah, like you have that grip.
And then that warm asphalt is kind of, squished. It just kind of feels a little more squishy anyways when it's that fresh and hasn't been really like ground in by the trucks yet.
Yes.
And I was just like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. I'm going to die.
I'm like, we're not doing this.
But I don't know how many times like we've heard about people like the paint, intersections and stuff, like they go to roll on it and you feel the buck.
Yep. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
get ya.
Oh yeah, it's like absolute ice skating.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see if he gets out there more.
You know, I'm with him. We just hit a point where like it's fun, but I also like a really comfortable car seat.
Seriously, yep. And that's why him and I talked about. I'm like, maybe we should just like look into getting like a nice sports car that we can take up through the mountains and cruise together, jam out our music, and because like having my knees up too anymore. Oh,
I would not be getting on the back.
Nope. Like he got me like a new helmet and everything. I think it was like 2 years ago right before he went down, and I haven't used it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be on the back anymore.
I don't blame you.
It's like I trust him, but I don't trust the idiots around that are on their phones, not paying attention. I'm just not about it.
Yeah. Bree wants to take Jen's NSF course and keeps talking about how she wants an R1. I was like, honey, I know you think you're all that in a bag of chips. One, not on my insurance. So good luck affording that.
Oh,
Never
God.
on my insurance.
Yep.
And two, like, I was you at your age, and I still haven't found a motivation as to why I need to hop on a leader bike.
Yep.
Some of it
what
I
say.
think is the Yamaha itself is more top heavy than the Suzuki. It doesn't feel as balanced.
Yeah.
So it's not as enticing, even though I technically have a longer inseam than Tyler.
Yep.
It's just not as enticing to sit on and feel like I'm going to keep that bike balanced between my legs. So I don't know if I sat on 1,000 Suzuki if I'd feel differently.
Right.
But I'm like, yeah, I'm slower on the 600, but at the end of the day, I've never truly been left really wanting for power.
And that's the thing too, like to have a leader bike, it's moments and glimpses. I've seen people really rally and get on them, but for the most part, that leader bike really isn't used unless you're taking it to track day.
Exactly.
Maybe a few turns up in the mountains, but you got to be a good rider to be able to handle that.
Exactly. And it takes a lot of years of learning the hard way on smaller things.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, she you know, but
It's an ego boost.
I want to be like my dad kind of stuff. Like, okay, well, sometime I wish Oscar still rode.
Oh,
Because Ty and Oscar through the canyons, that is the one time where like Wiki was fast but stupid. So Ty was just like
not dealing with that,
You know, and even Luke and a few of our other friends that are like former racers, they're fast, but they make some really dumb choices to where Ty's just like,
not
this
there.
isn't the art of why we're riding, right? This is your ego.
Yep, that is exactly it.
And
not going for it.
it's just, you know, he's got his moments, right? But by and large, like he's like, my favorite part was learning to ride slower with you. How much more I enjoyed the aspects of the ride.
And the control.
And just a nice smooth roll through the corner and no fucks, no like...
It's not that adrenaline rush of reaching for that adrenaline all the time.
Exactly. But watching him and Oscar work Highway 7, like for somebody who just works like on the sidelines, Oscar is a rider. And I told her, I was like, what sucks is you would have been a good racer.
Oh, for sure.
He just has the natural balance and just the gauge for it and everything else. Like,
it's all there.
It really kind of is watching him ride compared to other people. He's not having to work at being fast the way you watch other people.
It's an easy flow for him,
just the intuition of it.
Yep.
And, you know, it's kind of like watching him and the kids snowboard. It took him a long time. But once he got it, like...
It's smooth.
Yeah, he just, I don't know. He just has that inherent, like, balance about his body.
Yep.
And, you know, managing that stuff. I was like, what sucks? You probably would have really enjoyed and been pretty good. In all honesty, at racing.
Absolutely.
But we have kids.
Yeah.
We picked kids. So, sorry about you.
Yep. That's where it happens and stops.
Yeah. I was like, so, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Didn't realize, but you know, he's like, that is the most fun I had because it was fast at a level of control and like precision.
Yep.
But you weren't like, he wasn't questioning Oscar and going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, things like that, like those two, it was kind of cool to watch.
I love it.
Because it's just a different vibe.
Yeah.
Than
it's a flow.
With Sasha's and, you know.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Chrissy Little was my least favorite because she like made it a show of like trying to hang her ass off the side.
A most annoying thing ever. And I'm like, get over yourself.
You can still part with your ass in the seat.
Let's be honest here. You're just trying to show off yourself.
It fits anyway. Sorry,
Right.
sugar.
You're like, come on now. Come on. Yeah.
But it was such a show of it with so many people that I'm like, oh, I'm good at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good back here. I'll get there when I get there.
I'll enjoy the scenery.
Yeah, which isn't your ass in my face.
Exactly. Maybe for the guys, but not for me.
Exactly. So, yeah, I get it. We need to, like, we always did, like, first day of the school year, like, victory ride.
That's right. I remember that.
And this is the first year we haven't done it in years. It didn't even cross our mind.
Yeah.
I think because it was only one, like, there's just a different anticlimaticness to it.
Yeah.
And life's just been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It didn't even cross our minds.
Nope. And that just says something. It's just a different era. You know, we're all in. How are the girls doing?
Bree's home.
Yeah. How was the year? How did she feel? Are we doing swim again? Are we doing it all years or?
We're doing swim again.
Okay.
She didn't get as much money as she hoped for, but that's kind of her fault.
Okay.
You know, she's learning some lessons.
Life lessons.
She, you know, college is very liberal, and one
Yeah.
of her core teachers, which was environmental justice, you know, just those bullshit classes they make you take.
Yep.
Got off to the wrong start with that teacher because she was on her phone a lot because the class to her is, you know,
Yeah.
bullshit.
I get it.
And I get that. And it just started this like feud between them to where the teacher would be like, for somebody who has a lot of really nice Jordans, why do you wear cowboy boots? Because she really likes her Ariat, like square toe work boots.
Yeah.
Especially in the snow and the rain out there.
Yeah.
She's like, and the teacher called her like fake country and things like that.
What?
And Bree's like, you see how stuffed as shit? Like,
Oh.
there's like cut in them. Like these boots have been through some shit.
They've
and it's
lived in life.
Not because I just wear them for
Oh my god.
like she didn't say that to the teacher, but she's like, because they keep my feet dry and they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was just this like back and forth,
Yep.
right? And Bree made it known that like she really wasn't putting any effort into the class, and she said she didn't ditch a lot. I could go through and prove otherwise. So you know, lessons like that to where her trend for fucking authority a little bit.
Yeah.
Once she digs in, you know, the teacher fucked her on her grade.
Yep. And it's one of those, like, as much as you don't like them, you have to play the game to get what you want.
Exactly.
As much as it sucks, if you want something, sometimes you have to play well with others.
Yep.
And that's more of, I think, a laugh in that other person's face because you're getting what you want versus them laughing at you because at the end they won, even though you were rebelling against them.
Exactly. And usually she's really, it's just when somebody rubs her wrong. Usually
Yeah.
she's very much a pleaser, but once something rubs her wrong, and even her coach was like, I need more from you in practice. And she's like, well, I'm working on my form on this, and so I'd rather work on that than just go fast.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I'm like, while I get that, if your coach is saying they need to visually see you exerting more,
Mm-hmm.
you need to give them that.
Yeah.
Like, you need to find a way to balance those two out and give them that.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, like, people's emotions
Mm-hmm.
matter.
Absolutely.
So, she's learning some of those lessons.
Your part, I'm holding all of your hair, but it's left side?
Yeah. Somewhere over here.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Good. Yep. Just making sure as I'm painting through.
Had she gotten rid of the asshole last time?
God, I'm trying to think. I think yes. Yes.
Yeah, Ty found out he was
Yep.
big pot and zen.
Yep.
Which, overall, she's like, it's not, it is the pot and zen, but it's more the level of gone through of hiding it from her.
Yeah, and that's not right.
Yeah, so he kept holding out thinking there was a chance. Well,
Mhm.
the dude on the swim team, who her and him have both been kind of going through breakups, and then he's helped her with a bunch of her classes, like this and that. They had been friends all year and this and that. Well, she's flirted her way into that, and he's kind of an emotional bitch.
Yeah.
To where even her roommate is like, her roommate was all for it initially. Now Lily's like, oh, he's such a woman.
Right? Can we not?
Yeah. So he's supposed to be coming out here in a couple weeks.
Oh, fun. Where's he originally from?
Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
So she's gone down to home with him for a couple of weekends. Like they
Gotcha.
did the eclipse at his house because they were in like the path of totality.
Yep.
And then went down the weekend before finals for some Cletus's races thing. That like they're boat people. They go boating down. They've got like a houseboat like down in Tennessee or Kentucky or somewhere. That they go spend like a couple weeks at in the summer. But they're like, we definitely get the horsepower thing, so the whole family got tickets to this, knowing that Bree likes cars. So, you know, but they're both still fresh off a lot of emotional damage.
Yeah.
So they're kind of taking out on each other.
It's a bounce back.
Yeah, and they both know it's kind of a rebound, and they think they're going to be able to, like, just make a clean break, because I'm like, nope. We're always seeing the same trends.
You will live and learn.
Yeah. So she wants to go see him for his birthday around July 4th, and we just got our grades, and I was like, I don't know, man. Because you know, we have plans as far as what our training looks like for the summer. Kind of work on some power. We've got a gym in Brighton now, Culture Performance, and they do a lot of, you know, power moves and just kind of the mental side of the athletic training.
Wow.
So like a lot of the football players and volleyball programs are working with him, you know, on like, it's not just how fast you're sprinting, but how fast are you getting off the block, and what's, like, he's got like this.
The bigger picture of it.
He's got this machine that's tracking kind of their brain waves as they're doing it.
Okay.
Understanding that, and so, you know, yeah, we're going to be doing these small movements, but watch how much over time your vertical grows as a result of this.
Yep.
You know, things like that. Just
that's cool.
A more whole body,
holistic view at
and
it.
Mind approach. Yeah.
Yep.
And just, you know. So and that's not horrible, but it's not cheap either.
It's not like it's free.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I want this tattoo, and I want this whole back tattoo, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, that means you're out of the water how long?
Yes.
And like the whole back tattoo, who's going to help you take care of that? And should that really be your first tattoo?
Yeah. I feel like big pieces should be left till like you hit mid-20s and that frontal lobe's developed.
And that's what, like, Matt, our old neighbor, Matt, he's 2 full sleeves and a bunch of tats.
Yep.
And Ashley's got, you know, the 20-something tattoos, and then ended up doing both sleeves once her and Matt got married. And she's the same. She's like, all my tattoos from my 20s, I regret.
Yep, that's what everyone says. That's why I waited till I think I was 30.
Yeah. And I keep telling her, you know, everyone says, you know, be impulsive, but I really like this design. It's something she drew herself, and it's just a pretty kind of line art, you know, leaf and vine kind of thing.
Right.
It's not, but, you know, eventually she's like, I want to expand on it. And I was like, but I'm telling you, like, everybody you talk to who you like and has tattoos.
Yeah, it's going to take the same thing.
Yeah, but then her roommate, you know, is doing like a bunch of random small ones, and eventually it's supposed to like patchwork together, apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so we're starting with a behind the ear one next week.
All right.
And I'm hoping that motherfucker hurts.
Just enough where it's like,
You sure you want your whole back to feel that way? You know, because that one you can still kind of keep covered, and, you know, a couple weeks out of the pool, and then do the second skin stuff and kind of cover it with that and the swim cap. But a whole back,
that's a different level.
And that healing means you're just trying to sit and move and lifeguard all day.
Yep.
You know, so I'm like, you made a deal with Dad about your training plans, and nowhere was it taking, like,
time out for that.
Yeah, time out for one at the beginning of the year, or the summer with the ear, and then one at the end for the back.
And those are expensive.
Well, that's the other thing too. I'm like,
if it's done good.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, starting with a big piece with an artist you haven't used yet would be dumb.
So dumb.
Even if Lily trusts them, doesn't mean you're gonna, because she's very like Rain Man about symmetry. Bobby doesn't stay symmetrical.
Nope.
Even how you shift in their chair on that back is going to affect some things.
Well, and I think the biggest thing too is, like, I've seen pictures of Maddie's back from when he was college swimming to now, and that changes significantly because you don't have that muscle, so that is going to warp.
Yeah, and that's why I keep telling her, like, is that really, you know, even in 5-10 years when you're getting ready to get married, if you're not working out the same, or after a pregnancy, like, how are you going to feel like when you want to wear a bikini or, you know, a low cut swimsuit? You know?